Hey everybody, what's going on today? I want to make a quick video about pitching tips for everybody. Um, I made it to World Series in the last video that we did. Sitting at 907 right now. I haven't played a World Series game in a couple days, but through 87 games, getting there. It says 87, but for some reason the math 56 and 28 adds up to 84. So I don't really know what's going on there. But anyway, we are at a 2.52 ERA. So the reason I want to do this for you guys is if you look at some of these top players, like look at their ERAs up here, 308. Their averages are better than mine by all means. I'm not trying to knock these guys at all. I'm just wanted to show you guys this 308, 293, 290, and there are a handful up here that have a better ERA than me, but 351, 301, 257, 278, 340. I mean, look at these. There's one that's better. There's another one. There's another one. There's another. Wow, 181. That guy should make this video, but he's not. So, so anyway, just want to go into. We're going to go back out of this and go into practice right quick, practice mode, and I'm going to show you guys where to throw what pitches where. There's every pitch type has a specific location where it's most effective. I'm going to use the Yankees just because I kind of did a little map here of we'll go to Polo Grounds. Everybody loves Polo. Or, yeah, go to Polo Grounds. So I kind of did a map out of pitchers that throw like every type of pitch, so I can kind of go through and show you guys. So we're gonna make it a quick video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty of videos like this and gameplay videos throughout the year. So appreciate any support, and let's get this thing set up here. Now I'm kind of new to this practice mode. I haven't really done this over the years too much, so let's go. So okay, so Tanaka is actually one of the pitchers that I have here that I wanted to show you guys certain pitches he throws. All right, so Tanaka throws a sinker, a slider, splitter, forcing fastball, and a sinker. All right, so let's go with the top pitch, slider. All right, with the slider, you always want to take it low and away from a right-handed hitter. You can bring it below the zone here because it'll break across the zone, making it look like it's going to be a strike. You can kind of back them up here, but you got to be a little bit careful that they don't hang a little bit when you do this. Because sometimes you can hang the slider a little bit when it lands here, and like that one was fine. It broke a little bit low like that. But you can get people to chase them, throwing them in those locations. This one right here, if you throw it to the outside, you kind of grind it here. You should either swing and miss. You may take it because it's a computer, whatever. And sometimes it's going to go a little bit wider than what you're wanting to. Now, let me back up a little bit because the first tip I want to give you guys is to find the pitching interface that works best for you. I don't like the meters. I don't like any of the meter pitching. I personally prefer pulse pitching. I've done this one for 4 years. I feel like I have the most control, and it works for me best. So that's what I use. Like there, you can get him to chase on a low way slider. All right, so you can throw if it's a left-handed batter. You can work sliders in over here on this side that kind of break in a little bit on him. You gotta be careful doing that because if you miss your spot, it's gonna hang right there, and they're gonna drive a home run. On a left-handed batter, I would kind of take it over here possibly, or keep them really low and make it break in towards their feet. It's called a backdoor slider right there. So if you can get those in there, that's a good pitch, and that's where I would personally throw it. All right, so let's move to the next pitch. The next pitch is a splitter. The splitter is one of the most effective pitches in this entire game, hands down. It was last year. It is this year. I know fastballs are really effective because the pitch speeds are up higher this year, but splitters, it's technically a type of fastball, a split figure fastball, but it reacts more like a changeup, almost like a palm ball in a way, and they will drop straight out of the zone. So where I like to aim them, I always kind of like to keep them on right-handed hitters. Yeah, I know I threw it outside here, but don't worry about where I'm actually throwing the pitches to this guy because I'm just kind of trying to show you guys angles and stuff to throw them to, and the computer's not going to swing at it like actual people are when you play online games. With splitters to right-handed hitters, I like to keep them low and away. It makes it look like it's going to be a fastball down there in the zone. Much like a changeup, is good used to induce ground balls to turn double plays. If you have a pitcher that doesn't have a changeup but they have a splitter, you can do the exact same thing. So to lefties, here's a perfect example. To lefties, I like to take the splitter sometimes and run it here to the outside, but a lot of times I like to run it here to the inside, inside low and in on them, and it seems to be most effective there. Now, if you got a guy who's swinging at everything, throw him low in the zone. You know, and every hitter's going to be a little bit different that you're facing online, so you may have to change up some of this throughout the game. But I think all of this will give you a good starting point on where to actually direct your pitches. You can throw splitters here to the middle in on left-handed hitters if you've got a right-handed pitcher up throwing it. The only problem is if you miss your spot, kind of like that slider, if you miss it here and it ends up here, you know, you might be in some trouble. So, but if you throw them here low and in, a lot of times they'll swing over top of them, and they won't, right, like exactly like that, and they won't be able to make contact with them very well. So, all right, forcing fastball, guys, you can pretty much throw the fastball anywhere you want, except for right here. You don't want to throw a fastball right down the middle of the plate. There is never, you never want to do that. You can hit your outside top corners. You know, this one with 2 strikes is good, but a lot of people will already have their PCI aimed up there that are using zone hitting. So you got to be a little bit careful, you know, throwing that because you could give up the home run if you leave it up there. Bringing with certain pitchers, if you bring them inside, Chris Sale's a good one, man. If you bring an inside fastball in on right-handed hitters with Chris Sale, and people will whiff at them all day because it comes completely across his body with his motion, and it really looks like it's going to be a ball. But it ends up in the strike zone. But fastballs, you know, try to keep them low in the zone. That's the best way, you know, before you get 2 strikes on somebody, that's the best thing I can tell you. But paint the corners, paint the edges of the strike zone. You know, you don't have to throw them down the middle or anything. So you want to paint the corners. Do not be afraid to throw balls when you're ahead in the counts. Make guys chase, you know. I mean, when guys have 2 strikes on themselves, they're more willing to swing it and anything that's close, you know. So just like real baseball, so throw it a little bit off the plate, aim a little bit here, a little bit there. But anyway, that's my tip for their watch. We'll try to throw one here. Watch him hit a home run on it because I said it earlier, but and Tanaka doesn't throw very hard. Nope, look at that. See, rising fastball makes it really hard to hit because the rising speed is a little bit faster than when you throw them lower. And typically in the game, those four-seam fastballs are about a mile per hour or 2 faster if you throw them high in the zone as opposed to low in the zone. All right, so the next pitch and his final pitch for Tanaka is the sinker. And the sinker is one that you definitely want to keep, you know, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, low in the zone. Sinkers to lefties are great to throw right here, low and away. They will induce ground balls here. They will also induce a ground ball if you bring them low and in as well. That's a good way to get double plays when you get a runner on first base. Personally, I would rather throw, if I'm trying to induce the double play, I'd really like to throw changeups, but you know, you can't spam your number 1 pitch in this game as much. You kind of have to be careful with what you're throwing a little bit more. But sinkers are good to throw on the 2 low corners. You can also throw sinkers here. I recommend if you're going to throw it here that you have a left-handed pitcher throwing to a lefty. With right-handed hitters, you can throw it here and it will jam them. You'll break a lot of bats. And that'll be a nice way to get them out. They'll usually pop it up in the infield or hit a little dink single in the infield too or something. So, but that's the slider, splitter, fastball, and sinker. So let's go. I need to find another pitcher here, real quick. Let's see who we got. Let's see, Betances. All right, let's go with Betances right quick here. All right, so here's a couple pitches that I want to show you guys that Betances throws. Obviously, we just covered the four-seam fastball, so we don't need to cover that one again. Let's cover the knuckle curve. And when I'm covering the knuckle curve, I'm also covering the 12-6, the regular curveball, the sweeping curveball as well. It's a little bit different just because it's almost like a slurve because of the break on it, depending on what your pitcher's break rating is. But curveballs, guys, I play so many people online that'll throw curveballs up here. I don't know why. I mean, look, that guy took it. Okay, but it doesn't make any sense. You're attempting to get a home run hit off of you if you throw a curveball up here. Don't ever throw a curveball up high. It's crazy. You're just asking for a guy to score runs or put a ball in the gap or go yard. All right, so you don't want to throw them there. Curveballs. You always want to, on a left-handed hitter, if you've got a right-handed pitcher up, you want to break them down and in towards their feet, the direction of their feet. You can come over here a little bit if you want. If you're trying to throw a ball and you're heading the account, that's good. In the count, I think I said the account. Anyway, the count. You want to come over here with it. You can break them over here also. You want to be a little bit careful because the ball isn't crossing as much of the plate and it's starting here where his arm is with the right-handed pitcher, that you don't hang it when you throw it here, which has a tendency to happen sometimes. It didn't there. That's awesome. Here we go. We got a righty up. This is perfect. So yeah, when you're throwing them though, you want to, like, to this righty, I would throw curveballs right here and keep them away from him so it breaks across his body. Now, if you've got a left-handed pitcher up, you want to do the same thing. However, if you're breaking on a left-handed pitcher a curveball into the inside of a right-handed hitter, you do have to be aware of that hanging factor. They can, anything low and in can get really turned on. So you've got to, keep it on the edge, keep it a little bit off the plate, make it look like it's going to be a strike, but it's not quite. You get people to chase a lot doing that. So, Betances is a pitcher that a lot of people use. So hopefully this curveball little tutorial on this helps people to know where to throw curveballs a lot. It's amazing how many people you play online that don't know where to throw curveballs. All right, so his next pitch, and like I said, that for the knuckle curve works the same for the regular curveball, the 12-6 curveball, and the sweeping curveball. The sweeping curveball is a little bit different because you can totally break it from one side of the plate to the other. Against a righty, and you have a right-handed pitcher up, you can aim that thing over here. It's going to come all the way across the plate. Personally, I enjoy throwing the slurve, which is this pitch, his third pitch, a lot more than any other curveball in the game. I don't really like to throw a lot of curveballs. I'm more of a change-up slurve pitcher if I've got them, or splitters. But the slurve is great. Slurve is a combination, just like it sounds, of a slider and a curve. You always want to break it from the outside, or from the inside to the outside on a right-handed hitter with a right-handed pitcher up. They will whiff on this a lot. You're gonna get some crazy contact on this. Now, occasionally you'll miss your spot when you're doing that. It'll hang across the plate, and you can end up giving up a home run on it. But that's why I always say make sure you aim it down. Just below the outside corner of the plate. Look at that, perfect. I mean, that ball looked like it was gonna be a strike. Just broke completely below the strike zone, and the guy couldn't touch it. All right, so the slurve is really good. Now, if you've got a right-handed pitcher up, just like I do here, and you've got a left-handed hitter up, throw it in the exact same spot. Break it across and make it come into the left-handed hitter. Hopefully he doesn't swing at this. If he does, maybe we'll get a. Well, that was actually a really good one. You want to make sure you throw it about where I've actually got the ball put right there. That slurve breaking inside, low and into a lefty is going to cause them to almost swing with the knob of the bat in their gut, in their belly. When they go to swing, sometimes they're going to look pretty silly swinging at it. So, but that's the slurve. The slurve is a great pitch, great strikeout pitch. There is Johnny Venters is the lefty in the game this year that a lot of people are using, me included, and throws a left-handed slurve. That is a very, very effective pitch. Typically, yeah. I mean, if you hang one over the middle, you're screwed. But if you throw that to left-handed batters, oh my gosh, you think you can get them to swing a miss on tail away sliders from lefties to lefties? Oh my gosh, that slurve breaks so late that they think it's going to be a strike, and they will be so out in front of it thinking you're going to try to bust them with fastballs. So keep that in mind as well. Two-seam fastball. All right, so his fourth pitch is the two-seam fastball. Two-seamer is pretty easy. A two-seamer is pretty much a sinker. All right, a sinker with not quite the side-to-side movement. It's going to have some, obviously. It's not going to have the downward break like a sinker does typically. It's pretty much going to be like a minor league version of a sinker. All right. Now, some pitchers, depending on what their break rating is, have an amazing two-seam fastball, where it is almost identical to throwing a sinker. This one, you can see the arc on the ball, the way it curves in like this, very much like a sinker from Betances. I found that Betances has a little bit of trouble throwing it on the plate. When you aim down here, it always tends to go a little bit over here for me. But you can still use it effectively. Throw it here. Two seamers induce ground balls the same way sinkers do. You want to keep them in those same spots. If you're feeling a little bit gutsy, you can bring one up here, but you gotta keep in mind the same thing with the four seamer, that you could give up a big hit, a big home run to somebody. So you just want to be careful and watch exactly what you're doing there. All right, let's see here. Let's go find a different pitcher. Taviano, I think, is maybe the only. Well, let me get a Taviano real quick here, and we'll go into his. All right, so cutter. Cutter is a type of fastball. A cutter is always going to be a little bit slower. Well, 99% of the time, it's going to be a slightly slower pitch than your fastballs. Your four seamer is the fastest. Your two seamer is going to trail off usually a couple miles an hour from the four seam, and then the cutter is going to be just a little bit slower than that. So with a cutter to a left-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher, very effective. You can throw them. I like to throw them right here a lot, as long as you don't accidentally hang it right there. Hit your spots. If you throw it here, you can bust them inside, right there. Perfect. That's exactly the way you want to throw a cutter. Cutters will induce a lot of ground balls. Now, to a left-handed batter like this, and you've got a right-handed pitcher up that throws a cutter, right here is a very effective spot in this game. The ball, when it starts out, looks like it's going to be a ball. It'll break right on the corner of the plate right there for a strike a lot of times. Just it kind of depends on if your pitcher has really good control or not that you're using. You can throw cutters also down here in the zone and keep them inside to lefties. To a right-handed hitter, like if I had a right-handed hitter up right now, let's see if we can get one real quick. Let's just see if I can strike him out instead of going in and change it. It might be quicker. Oh, okay, another lefty was up. All right, so to a right-handed hitter, let's get one up here. Let's get a righty up. Trey Turner, that's perfect. All right. So you can throw, now he has a slider, so I wouldn't recommend doing this all that much, but for pitchers that don't have a slider and just have a cutter, I think like a Kluber is one that has that choice of pitches. You can throw the cutter just like a slider. It's going to throw like a hard slider. Now, there we go. See? Induce ground ball. Perfect. Watch, it's going to bring up a lefty. All right. So anyway, but that's what you want to do to right-handed batters when you have it. You can throw it just like a slider. So pretty much you want to aim it in about the same spots as a slider. I do recommend throwing it up here middle and in a lot. You will jam a lot of hitters, break a lot of bats. That's a great place to throw them. Now, the same thing when you have a lefty that throws cutters to a right-handed hitter. I would throw them out here again. So it looks like it's going to be a ball, and then at the last second, look at that. All right, that call could have gone either way with the call though. Keep it on the corners though. You should never throw a ball anywhere but the corners of the plate in this game, no matter what you're throwing. Splitters and changeups are about the only thing that you can get away with throwing them in the middle, as long as you keep them down far enough. Because if you don't keep them down, you're going to get rocked for them. I think changeup is about the only pitch that I haven't covered in here, and let me go to it real quick. Severino, find him real fast. He has a pretty good changeup. Did I pass him? Where is Severino? It's weird. All right, so somebody's got to have I don't know who this is. Tarpley. Does he have a changeup? He does. Okay. And we got a lefty up, so we can show you how to throw it with a lefty. That's perfect. All right. So with typically, if I've got a lefty up to bat, I've got a left-handed pitcher in, or I've gone to the bullpen just to bring in a lefty-lefty matchup, I'm going to throw sliders like this all over the place. But if you've got a runner on first base and the guy gets a hit off of one of those sliders that you threw, and you're really in desperate need of a double play. Like let's say you got first and third, and one out. God, you need that double play because if you put the ball in play and you don't turn two, you're going to give up a run. So change up. Change up, you want to keep it down here, low and away, and try to make them swing. With the computer, when you're pitching to them, you almost have to like aim it in the zone a little bit to get them to swing at it. But when you're playing online, you can aim them a little further down, and it's not as bad. If you've got when I do this lefty lefty matchup, I pitch with Vita Blue a lot, the Diamond 93 Vita Blue, and when I use him, aside from using the two seamers to left-handed batters, keeping them low and in like this on them, I like to take change-ups and drop it here. The good thing about a change-up is, and this is what fools people on this pitch speeds, is it looks like a fastball coming out of the pitcher's hand. It doesn't have this hump on it. In the game and even in real life, when you're looking for pitches, man, my joystick's bouncing all over the place. Anyway, when you're looking for pitches out of a pitcher's hand to try to determine what the pitch is that's being thrown, you want to watch as the ball releases the pitcher's hand. If it's a curveball, if it's a changeup, or not changeup so much because they are going to look like fastballs, but all the curveballs, sliders will do this a little bit. There's this minor hump, and not everybody can see it, but the ball kind of like jumps out of their hand, kind of raises up. It looks like kind of arcs a little bit, and you can kind of look for that when you're in the game when you're looking for pitches and try to judge pitches. So, but changeups are really effective to keep low and away. Like I said, for ground balls, you can throw them low and in. Also, never leave a changeup over the middle of the plate, just like you would never leave a fastball or a curveball over the middle of the plate. You're gonna get hit hard. So. I hope all these have helped with everybody. We covered the 4-seam fastball, the 2-seam fastball, the sinker, the cutter, the splitter, the different types of curveballs, changeups, sliders, and slurves. I guess knuckleballs are about the only thing we didn't cover. Necro is going to be in this game later this year. Phil Necro is, so you're going to get knuckles thrown to you at some point. It's going to happen. Hopefully. Not as often maybe as last year because a lot of people had that card in the bullpen out of his relief pitcher card. But if you're throwing a knuckleball, I'm just going to kind of show you real quick. I'm not going to back out and load the screen up to waste time for you guys. But if you're throwing knuckleballs, aim them low in the zone. Low in the zone, and if you've got a right-handed pitcher up, you can aim them on which it's going to be a right-handed pitcher. If you got a right-handed pitcher, you can aim them on the right side of the zone. If you got a left-handed batter up, you can aim them over here, middle, kind of like you would with a cutter. But you got to be a little careful because you don't know where the knuckleball is exactly going to go. If it floats over here, you're going to get hit. So I always recommend keeping them low. They have a really high arc to them. They start up here and they drop, like a wiffle ball. So you never know exactly where it's going to go. But if you aim low, you're probably going to get a pretty decent placement on a knuckleball. But yeah. So hopefully that covers it. Hopefully that helps you guys with where to place pitches better if you're having a hard time getting people out with certain pitches. And I hope the video helps. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future videos like this. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section here on YouTube, and I'll respond to you either directly or I'll cover it in a future video or the next video for you. And we'll try to get anybody any bit of help they need. Also, I guess there was a little bit of audio issues on some of my previous videos this year. Let me know. Hopefully it's fixed. I hope it is. I increased my mic volume, so hopefully that kind of drowns out background sounds. Obviously, there's no commentating when you're doing practice here, but I will have that turned off in future videos. So that should help to fix that issue. But hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks.